heard the shouts of help just as I turned back from the river with a bucket full of water. Dropping the bucket, I sprinted toward the source of the cry, my heart pounding. It was my cousin Ben, who had slipped and twisted his ankle. I reached him, helped him up, and he leaned on me as we made our way back to camp. Ben grimaced, trying to mask the pain. "Thanks, Mike. I should have been more careful." "No worries," I replied. "Let's get you back and take a look at that ankle." I helped Ben sit down and fetched the first aid kit from my backpack. As I wrapped his ankle, I thought about how this trip had started with such promise. It was supposed to be a simple weekend reunion, a chance for me, Ben, our cousin Jake, and our cousin Emma to reconnect under the stars far from our hectic lives. "Do you remember the last time we went camping together?" Jake asked, trying to lighten the mood as he stirred the fire. We were teenagers, and Ben tried to make s'mores but ended up setting his marshmallow on fire. We all laughed, the memory cutting through the tension. But the laughter quickly faded as the forest around us grew darker. The sun was setting, and the dense canopy of the trees made it difficult for any light to penetrate. "Mike, you always were the responsible one," Emma teased as she joined us by the fire, "always taking care of us." I smiled, the flickering flames casting shadows on our faces. "Someone has to keep you guys out of trouble." An eerie stillness settled over the campsite. I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up as a chill ran down my spine. Trying to ignore the unsettling atmosphere, I kept myself busy with camp chores. As night fell, the sounds of the forest seemed to amplify. The wind rustled through the leaves, and distant animal calls echoed through the trees. I sat close to the fire, the warmth battling the cold knot of anxiety in my stomach. Jake, Ben, and Emma were talking, their voices hushed, but my mind was elsewhere, tuning into every rustle and snap of twigs in the dark. Suddenly, a blood-curdling howl pierced the night, freezing us all in place. "Did you hear that?" Jake whispered, his eyes wide with fear. Ben nodded, wincing as he shifted his position. "What the hell was that?" "Probably just a wolf," I said, trying to sound more confident than I felt. But deep down I knew it was something else, something much more dangerous. The howls seemed to come from all around us, closing in. We had passed an old cabin earlier, deciding it was too run down to be worth the trouble. Now it seemed like our only hope. "Guys, I think we should get to the cabin. Now." We abandoned our gear, the need for survival far outweighing the loss of our supplies. I grabbed a torch from the firewood and my walking stick, hoping it could serve as a weapon. Ben leaned heavily on me as we made our way to the small run-down cabin. The door creaked as we pushed it open, the inside offering little comfort with its dusty, cobwebbed corners and broken furniture. But at least it had walls. We barricaded the door with what little furniture we could find. As we sat huddled in the dim light, the sense of being hunted grew stronger. Every now and then, a low growl echoed outside, closer each time. "What do you think it is?" Ben asked, his voice trembling. "I don't know," I admitted. "But it's not just a wolf. It feels different. Feels wrong." The air inside the cabin was musty, filled with the scent of decayed wood and neglect. I could hear Emma's shaky breathing and see the fear in Jake's eyes, mirroring my own. Outside, the growls grew louder, and I caught glimpses of shadowy figures through the cracks in the walls. The creatures circling the cabin were more than wolves. They were massive, with eyes that glowed in the darkness, and fur matted with blood and filth. Their stench was overwhelming, a nauseating mix of rot and wet fur. Worst of all, I could hear them laughing, an eerie, guttural sound that kept me on edge. "They're toying with us," Jake said, his voice barely a whisper. "They're waiting for something." We stayed awake through the night, too scared to sleep. The howls and growls continued, circling the cabin like a predator toying with its prey. Dawn couldn't come fast enough. When the first light of morning finally crept through the cracks in the cabin walls, We cautiously peered outside. The forest looked eerily calm, but the feeling of dread lingered. Then we saw it. A creature standing just beyond the tree line. At first glance it looked like a wolf, but its posture and the way it moved were unnervingly human. Is that a wolf? Emma whispered, clutching my arm. No, I said, my voice shaking. It's something else. The creature's eyes glowed with a sinister light, and it wasn't alone. Dozens of eyes stared back at us from the shadows. The creatures silently waiting, their patience chilling. We need to get out of here, Jake said, his voice barely a whisper. I nodded, my heart pounding in my chest. But how? They're surrounding us. Ben, his face pale and sweaty, looked at us with determination. We wait for the sun to rise fully. They seem to prefer the darkness. Maybe, just maybe, we can make a run for it when it's brighter. We huddled together, our fear palpable, waiting for the sun to rise higher. But deep down, we knew that escaping wouldn't be easy. The creatures were waiting for us, ready to turn our reunion into a feast.